Andrew, storms continue to hit us in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and those chances continue for this evening. But we've got a new storm that's a particular concern because it's dropping some good-sized hail crossing in from Adair County into southwestern Washington County and most of Crawford County. We have that new severe thunderstorm warning. The problem with this storm, though, is that it's starting to rotate. It's filling in with some of this warmer, more humid air in the River Valley. We're out at 90 in Poteau, 87 in Fort Smith, but we got to watch this storm. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. I'm going to bring up the velocity as we watch the storm rotate just a little bit. Let me go ahead and bring, you can see that rotation right there. That would be just south of Evansville and north and west of Lee Creek. This is headed towards Natural Dam. So we've got to watch out for this storm, but it also has hail. You can see the history of this hail. Let me put up the warning, maybe a little bit easier to see. I'm going to loop it for the past about 15 minutes or so. As you guys see that, I'm going to get the rest of our systems ready here in just a moment. I'm going to stay here with you guys. I'll pause just for a moment. If you have the 5 News app, you're about to get a push notification. We're also live on our YouTube channel, our Facebook app, and our 5 News app as we watch this new cell. This is the one that has so far has had the most rotation. It looks like the hail has dropped off just for a second, but a lot of times these things kind of cycle. But it has produced some good-sized hail there east of Stillwell, kind of along 59 into Peavine, and then headed right now into Crawford County. So if you have the 5 News app, we're about to buzz you guys, and we'll get more folks to join in with us. Get the rest of these systems together. So what you're looking at there on the side while I still get our systems ready is the hail track with this storm that is also rotating a bit, and we're going to have to keep our eye on that. Okay, I think the push alert just went out. One more thing to do. All right, we're good. Okay. All right, sorry about the delay there, but we are watching this storm that's moving into Crawford County. Severe thunderstorm warning right now. I can get the latest updates on this. This is moving at 25 miles per hour towards the south and east. We've got up to about ping-pong-sized hail. So they're roughly about 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches sized hail. That's when you start doing some damage. But it's moving about 25 miles per hour towards the south and east. It was just over the Adair State Park. But this is coming right towards the Mountainburg area, Chester, Devil's Den State Park. We're going to get clipped by this storm. Lee Creek, Cedarville, Natural Dam, Lake Fort Smith, there towards Clyde and Odell. Morrow will also be on the threat for this storm as it's moving towards the south and east. So I'm going to take this off. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And let's look at the velocity. So a couple different things that we're going to do. We're going to keep bouncing between, we've got hail threats, so a lot of lightning in this storm. And it also has the potential to continue to rotate. And this is finally a storm for the River Valley. Right now, Johnson County and eastern Logan and eastern Franklin, we've had our storms today. We're finally starting to watch those fall apart a little bit. You can see they're towards the right-hand side of your screen. That's good news. We've had some flash flooding threats. We've had a lot of water. Some of us have already picked up 2, 3, 4 inches of water this afternoon so far. But this storm that has popped up right in some of this cooler air is marching south and east. It's pretty much mostly left Washington County and Adair County. The heart of it is now coming into Crawford County. But you guys, if you headed towards Natural Dam, it's been a great day at Natural Dam so far because it's been warm and humid. But there towards that natural swimming pool, we got heavy rain coming in and also some gusty winds. It also looks like a new cell has popped up over Boonville. What's going on is you guys can see this outflow that's been moving out. This cooler air, we've had all this cool rain towards our east. New severe thunderstorm watch now going into effect for the rest of the River Valley. Let me get an update on this watch too. Looks like another cell's popping up just south and east of Tulsa. This one goes until 10 o'clock. So what's going to happen over the next several hours is that in eastern Oklahoma and for much of the heart of the River Valley, right around Fort Smith and Van Buren, we haven't had a lot of activity. But it looks like that's about to change. New severe thunderstorm watch goes until 10 o'clock. But we're watching these next cells already start to form up as this rain-cooled air pushes south and west. Notice we've got a new cell. If I kind of move the radar, you see back towards west of Tahlequah, a little pop-up there. We'll see if that grows into something. Fort Smith, we just had that cooler air push through town. We'll see if that tries to spark a storm, but it's already sparked storms back towards the south. Boonville, right there, we're getting some of the heavier rain over Golden City and Grayson, Sugar Grove, Carolyn, this storm's going to continue to bubble up. Probably not producing hail yet, but we're noticing a few lightning strikes as a sign that it's likely to continue to strengthen. But the one cell that we got to rotate or watch as it rotates is this one coming into Crawford County. The rotation's back on its northwest side. They're crossing the state line south of Evansville, headed towards Natural Dam and Lee Creek. If I bring back the radar, we'll track this out. So this is moving 25 miles per hour towards the south and east for you guys. We haven't had much in Crawford County yet, so this is going to change things. I'll draw this out, and we'll extend this back towards the south and east. Barcelona, 331. 341 in Cedarville. That's here in about 16 minutes. Dean Springs, 352. Rudy, 353. And just after the 4 o'clock hour, this may be trying to ride towards you guys in Alma, right there along 64 and I-40 as you're making that interchange with I-49. But this storm continues to bubble up. I can take a look at it with some of our sky cams. I'll show you a live look from Springdale. Let me move the camera a little bit. A little bit hard to see because we have some of the leftover clouds from storms that we already had earlier this afternoon. But there in the distance where it gets pretty dark, that's where we're watching this storm, the supercell thunderstorm that is rotating on its northwest side and continues to march south and east over time too. The rotation itself is now mostly into Crawford County. I'll show you that rotation. But a good healthy storm for us. You see that flashing there, that still is the severe thunderstorm watch that's being issued and activated. But we're watching that rotation there just west of that hail pocket. Looks like the previous severe thunderstorm warning has now been dropped. One severe thunderstorm warning coming into Crawford County. This warning expires in 48 minutes. So this goes, just past the 4 o'clock hour. It goes until 4:15. But there could still be up to ping pong sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as this storm comes in. This is going to come in big time for us in Crawford County. But we got to watch that rotation. We also have to watch the hail. Let's bring up the hail track. You see this thing dumped some good sized hail. I mean, the hail cores were up to about 1.75 inches, so just there right near ping pong to golf ball sized hail. But the latest scan has it just a touch weaker. I got to take off the warning real quick. Got hail sizes just over 1/4 inch. A quarter size, about 1 inch sized hail, 1 1/4 sized inch hail, even up to that. So very close to almost ping pong sized hail. But this track of hail is going to continue to move south and east for us. So we'll track this out towards Cedarville and Alma. Natural Dam 338 here in about 10 minutes or so, give or take. You guys in Natural Dam, you've been enjoying the warm, humid Sunday. Love Natural Dam, but we've got a storm coming in. The rain's already now basically starting. The hail core is a little bit back towards the north and west. So what's going to happen is the sky gets pretty dark. The rain starts to pick up. The wind starts to pick up. And then the hail comes in a little bit later. But that hail pocket coming into Natural Dam, roughly 338. Barcelona 339 here in just about 10 minutes. Cedarville 352. And after 4 o'clock for us in Dean Springs and Alma. So we'll watch this storm as it moves in. I may also, have to hold on with me for a second. I'm going to move some of our cameras. I'm going to switch this camera in Johnson, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like from Pensacola. We may still be a little bit too far out. So remember, Pensacola, we're just outside Fort Smith, and we're going to look north and east at this storm. Right now, you're looking directly towards Fort Smith. Yeah, see those skies getting dark there? Once it gets a little bit closer, it'll be a little bit easier to see. But those darker skies there, right above the horizon, is that storm that's for us in Crawford County. Let's do a wide view. Let's talk about what we can expect for the next couple of hours, because it's already been active, right? Especially for Benton County and Carroll County, Washington County. We also had some of our storms. We're getting a nice dry pocket right now. That may change. You look off towards the north and west. We've got more storms coming in from southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri. Those are not severe at the moment. They've been kind of pulsing up and down. We'll see how they interact with the environment in northwest Arkansas, because we've kind of been worked over a little bit. But these storms may try to blow up more if we can get a little bit of sunlight to peek in through some of these these leftover clouds. But it's hard not to notice all the severe storms that are just pushing out of Logan County and Scott County and Johnson County. These are now coming towards Hot Springs. So this is going to be coming in towards Little Rock and Conway. They're already getting some of that hail. In fact, some large hail coming into Conway right now. But they're towards Danville, set it out to the south and east in Yell County, Hot Springs, Woodington. They're towards the Crater of Diamond State Park. We're about to get hit hard with some lots of lightning, some hail, gusty winds, and heavy rain too. The one storm for us is sitting there in Crawford County. Let me bring up the radar. See more cells popping up? And also a new severe thunderstorm watch being issued and reactivated for the Southern River Valley. This goes until 9 o'clock for us in Scott County. The one in Logan County, this goes until 6 o'clock for that severe thunderstorm watch. And then back towards eastern Oklahoma, where we just had that fresh severe thunderstorm watch for us too, including Sequoia County, LaFleur County, Sebastian County, Haskell County, and Latimer counties. That goes until 10 o'clock for this severe thunderstorm watch as we continue to see more cells pop up. You see that cell that's trying to get going there? It's a little bit hard to tell. We got these outflow boundaries kind of colliding with the radar beam. So we'll see if we can get a cell to pop up there towards just north and west of Muskogee. They're off the turnpike. If that continues to flare up towards our west, we're going to talk about more storms for us coming into Fort Smith, Van Buren. But it looks like this is our strongest storm right now. Crawford County in the mountains just west of Devil's Den State Park. Mountainburg, we're going to be watching out for this. The rain's about to start in Mountainburg. The rain's about to start for us in Natural Dam and Barcelona. Lee Creek, we're getting that heavy rain for us already right now. But they're towards Cove Creek and back north and west, Liberty Hill. You guys are getting some of this hail too, and this is going to continue to track south and east. Cedarville, we're getting that heavy rain, and so this storm's going to continue to push towards Alma as it is a warning until, get the latest update. This warning goes until 4:15, so another 45 minutes with this cell. It's being reactivated right now because it's being cut off for Washington County. So no longer do we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Washington County or Adair County. There's being a reactivation of that flash flood warning in Madison County. See that red blinking there? That's that flash flood warning because, guys, we picked up a lot of water there in Huntsville and Hinesville, east of Goshen and Sonora, Elkins. That's where we got a lot of that heavy rain. We had several pockets of hail blow through earlier. We're getting a break now, but if any more water comes at us, that flooding threat will continue to really go back up. But those rivers are already getting pretty high. I'm sure waterfalls are flowing pretty nicely right now. Maybe you take tomorrow to go check out some of the waterfalls because the more storms are likely to come in from the north and west. I'll take a look at the rotation in this storm. We've been watching it kind of off camera too. It looks like that rotation is just north and west of Cedarville. A little bit hard to tell because you're getting into the mountains. Sometimes those mountain peaks mess with this radar beam just a little bit, but that rotating storm, it's just got a good updraft on it. It's healthy. As long as you can get that rotation to help with the updraft, you continue the threat for hail coming in. But this is a good rainer for us and a good hailer for us as it's moving south and east, once again, 25 miles per hour. But there's that rotation. It's kind of just a little bit broad, a little bit weak, coming right over Natural Dam and Cedarville and Uniontown. So we'll watch that. Take that off. Go back to the radar. Let's time out this cell again. Still about 25 miles per hour. But how this storm is oriented, because it's coming in from the north and west, the rain's going to pick up, the wind will pick up first, and then you'll get into a lot of the thunder and lightning and that hail pocket there on the northwest side, also with some of that rotation.
Tulsa radar.
Let me switch it.
Much better record.
This is hard to switch on this system. That's what I have pulled up too.
Yeah.
So just because we're so close to the Fort Smith radar, I'm not going to be able to switch it for you guys. But I tell you what, when I'm looking off screen, we still have this rotation that's still pretty broad. A lot of this is a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, so that beam from Tulsa is coming in a couple thousand feet. We've got a good spin a little bit higher. Our spin right above the mountaintops is a little bit weaker, but we'll have to analyze this storm. We got a lot of lightning too, but you guys in Cedarville and Natural Dam, Uniontown, Dean Springs, Alma, this is coming right towards you guys. Let me adjust. Latest times, Alma about 4:15, Cecil 426, so we're still about 45, 50 minutes away for us in Cecil, as you head into Franklin County. But Mountainburg, 343, 350 in Cedarville. Here in about 15 minutes for us in Cedarville. It's just using some of the warm air that we got this afternoon. 87 in Fort Smith. We're sitting at 90 in Poteau right now. There on the east side of Kavanaugh Hill. Cooler air where we've already had the rain today. We've already had several rounds of rain in northwest Arkansas. It has been a little bit less there in Fayetteville. We've had some more kind of bubbly pop-up storms here and there, but it's poured for us once you head closer to Beaver Lake and east of Sonora, east of Goshen. There in Madison County, we've had a lot of rain. Of course, that flash flood warning continues for the next few hours. Johnson County, we've had a lot of rain. We're in the 60s as well. But boy, it's an active day today. And you look back towards the north and west, we're not done. We're going to continue to watch more storms towards southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri. They're not severe right now. They may be starting to run in some cooler air. We'll see how they interact. But on and off, they've had warnings because of their hail threats. Speaking of hail threats, let's bring up our hail tracker. So this is just a wide view. Let me pull up all the warnings so they kind of can see it a little bit better. Let me pull up the past hour. You guys can see just all this hail that we've had, just area-wide. I mean, you go all the way from southeast Kansas right here to northwest Arkansas, the River Valley. All these blue pockets are showing you the hail. In the River Valley, most of the hail is now pushed out for us. Other than Booneville, we may be getting some hail here soon, if you already haven't had some hail, because that cell's trying to bubble up. We've got a new pocket of hail there in eastern Scott County. This is headed towards Gravely, Little Texas. These are some of the ridges of the Ouachita's once you head east of Parks and east of US 71 from Waldron. But in eastern Scott County, we've got a new hail track that's coming in. That's going to be moving in towards Yell County and eventually towards Mount Ida and Glenwood. There in Paris, we had some hail earlier, but that hail threat continues to push on out. I'm just going to shorten this time up. Now we're over a 15-minute loop. Let me loop it. There we go. All right, so still watching that hail pocket there in Crawford County. The biggest threat right now is hail, but we still have some rotation a little bit higher up in this storm coming into Crawford. I'm reading this storm. But these storms are coming right into some upper 80s and low 90s. That's some great warm air for these storms to interact with as they move southeast. Gusty winds are a primary threat too. I'll show you the velocity. A little bit hard to see from the Fort Smith radar as we're a little bit lower in the beam. But right now it looks like most of that circulation is now over Natural Dam in Cedarville. We bring our shear tracker. Here's another way to look at it. See the purple? That's where we have some rotation. So we'll watch this. Watch this storm. The rotation's kind of on the northwest side, a little bit opposite than what we're normally used to as these storms are coming in from the northwest to the southeast. We're what's called northwest flow. They joke it's northwest flow, weatherman's woe, is where you get this northwest wind, and when temperatures are warm here on the ground, you can easily bubble up storms, and they produce a lot of times very gusty winds and hail, and then sometimes they can also rotate. But we've got some rotation on that rotation tracker right over Natural Dam, headed south and east towards Cedarville, and Hobtown, Figure 5, Dripping Springs. We're going to have some of this hail and some of this rotation coming into. I'll bring up the hail once more. Hail coming in right for us for Natural Dam. If it hasn't already started, it's about to. But this is moving south and east. This does not include Van Buren and does not include Alma at this time. But if there's a new severe thunderstorm warning, we're going to have to, it'll probably be expanded into Kibler, Dyer, and Deem Springs. Get an update that there may be some sort of rotation and wall cloud that's visible right now. I'm going to bring up our camera coming in from Bacola. This is a live look in Bacola. I'm going to set this and save this. Live look in Bacola. You're looking towards the north and west. I'm going to zoom in right there on that wall cloud. It's going to be a little bit hard to see. Do you see that, Bruce?
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a lowering there for sure.
So I'll draw it out too. I know it's sometimes a little bit tough to see. You see kind of the edge of it right there. And then back. So right in there, right in kind of these rotating winds, there with that wall cloud, that lowering that we have, right over Cedarville and Uniontown. So if we were to potentially get a tornado, it would be coming in from there. You would see, hopefully you would be able to see the condensation cloud. You don't always see the condensation though, but we do have that rotation. Looking live from Bacola, and you're looking directly north and east, right at that storm coming into Crawford County with the hail as well. It's kind of fuzzy and hazy too because way off in the distance it's pouring for us. We've got rainfall rates over 1 inch per hour in for Crawford County, and that hail is falling for us too. So we'll keep kind of hopping back between. I'm going to keep that camera right here live so I can keep referring to it. It's very breezy though. It kind of gets hard to look at because it's super windy right now. We've got a strong south wind that's really feeding these storms coming into Crawford County. But what we were looking at there, that rotation is still evident on the northwest side. So that rotation's about right in here. And that's going to move south and east, specifically towards Cedarville. Right, I mean, it's right over us in Cedarville, to be honest. Hobtown 347, 352 in figure 5, 356 in Rudy, and just after 4 o'clock in Alma. Once again, we have live team coverage watching this severe storm. Most likely going to get another warning here in just a little bit. But the warning for Crawford County still continues until 4:15, moving about 25 miles per hour towards the south and east. But more storms back off towards the north and west. You look towards Oklahoma, we're trying to fire up more. And you guys have been asking Fort Smith and Pecola and Poteau, Salisaw, Greenwood. You know, we haven't had much yet. But if we can get the radar to fill in back towards our west, that'll change. And we've got this boundary moving through. You guys see this outflow boundary? You see how it kind of wiggles and snakes there, this green? That's that cooler, rain-cooled air coming in from the storms that we have back towards the mountains. That cool air just slides down the mountainsides, has already pushed through Fort Smith and Bacola. That cooler air is just about to hit us on Kavanaugh Hill and hit us in Panama and Shady Point. It's already blown through Spiro and Bacola, Salisaw. We're about to get some of that cooler air. But right along this line, that will continue to move south and west. We could try to fire up more storms. In fact, that's how we fired up the storm that we have now in Crawford County, and the storm that we also have back towards the east. Now, this one's kind of fallen apart just a little bit. There in Boonville, we had a good downpour for us, but now that's kind of cleared out. This is now headed south and east of town, there towards Sugar Grove and Grayson. This storm's moving east. Blue Ball, Oleo, Rolla, and Gravely, Bluffton, Little Texas, and Harvey. You guys still getting those storms. Let me bring up the hail again. Reissuing that severe thunderstorm warning. We're continuing that severe thunderstorm warning. We've got a considerable wind threat with winds at about 60 miles per hour. Hail threats just under 2 inches. We've got about up to ping pong size ball hail, and maybe also maybe even up to golf ball sized hail. But a lot of times it's just under that size right now with this storm. There might have been a quick uptick as this moves south and east. We're looking at your hail tracker right now. You see just under that 2-inch mark. So it's about golf ball sized hail coming in south and east. I tell you what, there's a lot of energy though in the atmosphere right now. It's been warm. We rebuilt the humidity. You know, we dropped it a little bit with that first cold front that we had, you know, Friday and in the first part of this weekend, but then that south wind came back and it's just beefing up the humidity once again. We're going to knock it back down with our next cold front. This is all being helped sparked by a wave in the atmosphere with some cooler air moving in, another cold front moving in. I tell you what, tomorrow, some of us may not even get to the 80s. We've got cooler north winds eventually coming in, but as that cooler air moves south, this is why we're sparking these storms today. But we've got a good pocket of hail there in Crawford County right now, continuing to move south and east. Latest timing on this one, headed right over Cedarville now. We've got the rotation kind of over Cedarville at the moment, but hail a little bit back towards the north. Rudy 402, Dean Springs 407. Alma still kind of estimating a few moments after that 4 o'clock hour. But this is coming right towards us. You see the path of it. You look back towards the north and west. That path started in Peavine. They're along 59 in Fairfield, just north of Stillwell, where we had that tornado there about a month ago, that EF 1. Now this is all moving south and east, right into Crawford County for us. This is probably going to bypass us from Mountainburg, at least for the hail threat. A new scan with that hail coming in. Man, we got hit in Natural Dam. Boy, did we get hit. We got between a 1 to 2 inch size hail right now reporting there in central Crawford County, moving south and east. Let's go ahead and go back to our camera right now. I'll have to move this. See that, Bruce?
Yeah, absolutely. A little lowering there.
Yep.
Little low clouds. I was looking recently outside and had some low clouds streaming towards the west. Actually, some little low cloudiness right here at Johnson Mills at I-49 moving towards the west. Always interesting when you get a little low pressure like that, a little mesocyclone, it's drawing air in from the east and southeast. And we've got this lowering showing up. And right now, not seeing a great deal of rotation with this, but it did show a pretty good spin for a few minutes there, and there's a lot of hail in this. When you start getting golf ball size hail or larger, you've got to have a strong updraft to sustain that hail up in the sky. And that is one of the reasons why we're watching this one so closely, because it is showing a large hail, some of the larger hail we've seen today now out of that one little storm now in Crawford County around Cedarville, and it's moving towards the south and southeast at about 25 miles an hour. Take a look at it on radar one more time, and I want to expand it because there's some more storms now up by Joplin that are starting to move in our general direction. Chanute, seeing a little thunderstorm activity coming down into Joplin. So this will eventually sag down into northwest Arkansas also. This is moving again towards the southeast this afternoon. A pretty good respite right now for Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're trying to play baseball. I believe at 3:30 they were going to try first pitch for the Razorbacks against Vandy for that second game, and they were going to try to get that in. And right now this storm's staying well south of Washington County now, and now moving across Crawford County. But it is of concern because it's a lone supercell, and those lone supercells, they have nothing to obstruct them from the inflow and getting all that energy fed right into that one storm. And it's not that big a storm, but it is producing very interesting pattern there of hail, frequent lightning. And let's zoom it in and put the Vils value or the hail tracker back on it and show you what it's doing. It's becoming more of just a circular storm, but again, the hail core is producing Cedarville right here, just to the north of Cedarville, and you kind of see this storm is making a little bit more of a south turn than an east turn. There's Hobbstown and Cedarville. I think both of you are going to get a little hail out of this one as it comes on down and moves towards Rudy, and we'll be watching this one closely. And they're still under a severe thunderstorm warning for this area in Crawford County, and again Fort Smith and Van Buren just to your southwest. So if this storm actually turns a little bit more to the south, we'll be watching it and see if it makes a little bit of a turn to the south versus the southeast this afternoon. So again, it's going to come very close to Interstate 49 eventually here and cross the highway. A lot of traffic on a Sunday afternoon between Fort Smith and Fayetteville going on. And you don't want to get into a major hailstorm, windstorm, but it looks like hail may be the major threat on this one right now as it moves again towards the southeast at about 25 miles an hour. It looks like Cedarville again under the most of the threat there. And is that a little rotation?
Yeah, so that's that wall cloud. I think this kind of matches up with that wall cloud that we're continuing to watch. But so this is our rotation tracker. Bruce, I'm going to bring back up that camera too. Hold on just a second. It's pretty breezy.
Yeah, you got a pretty good lowering right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's impressive. And with that kind of hail, and we're going to have to keep a real close eye on this. This may tornado on us this afternoon, and it's could have a quick spin up out of a storm like this. And it's out in open country just north of Cedarville, but you got a pretty good wall cloud showing up in the haze right here in this. We look for, here's basically the rain-free base, and when you get a lowering from that base, that means that updraft is lifting the air and it's condensing, forming what we call a wall cloud. And when that starts to spin, we get a mesocyclone, and eventually that updraft that is creating the hail and everything, if it tightens up and starts rotating and spinning, well, then we get a funnel cloud and eventually a tornado. So that's kind of what we're watching in this, and that's why we're staying with you on this specific little storm, because it's showing some indications that it could have a quick tornado spin up on it. And the hail damage is definitely concerning with this storm. But again, there's that you can see in the haze, there's that lowering that goes across, and that would be where we'll be watching for some kind of a spin up in the updraft. It's not a huge storm, but if you're in Crawford County, in central Crawford County, it's all the storm you need this afternoon. And you can see a little bit of an indication of maybe an inflow notch right there, which trying to make a little bit of a hook there. See that inflow notch right there? Yeah, right there. And then let's track this almost southeast.
Yeah.
And let's just see what that, just with a regular fan track on this one.
Oh, the fan, you want the fan track?
Yeah, let's do a fan track on that one, because
I have to update
that's
that one real quick.
where this rotation would be. And that could carry it somewhere between Alma and Van Buren. Let's split the difference between the two. And at 20 miles an hour, there's that Scheibele and Keibler.
Yeah. If it did come to the Fort Smith area, that would be about 410, and I'll swing it back to Alma. If it did meander a little bit more east, Alma would be also about 410.
Yeah, so right now it's 350. That's 20 minutes from now, so it gives you some indication. You're not under a tornado watch or warning, but you're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Crawford County, and we're watching a storm that has shown some indication of rotation and definitely large hail. And again, we are picking up just that little core right there of rotation, and that's what's lifting up the air so much and creating hail that's probably around golf ball size hail is what we're believing is with this storm. You can see on the tracker it showed some pretty serious core indications as this is moving. Again, forecast to go southeastward. So here's Dean Springs, Alma, and then Van Buren. And we'll watch the storm. Sometimes they turn a little bit more to the south when they become rotating, and if the storm is rotating, it might veer just a little bit further down towards this corner, and then we'll be watching it for Van Buren and across to Alma in that general direction. Again, there's where I-40 and 49 join up, and so we've got a big concern. A lot of traffic there, a lot of big trucks, a lot of people driving on Sunday afternoon, and very concerning. You don't want to get in a major hailstorm, mess up your car, break out your windshield, or worse than that, maybe have a quick tornado there that can blow 18-wheelers over. So,
in fact, we have a live view, Bruce. Our Drive 5, Ian, photographer, he is on 59, headed north. He's in the Van Buren area. If we can pull up his shot there, look at that. You can see that supercell.
Look at that, yeah. Off to the right. And you can see some striations in that, it's rotating.
Now look at that, guys.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice, Ian. Good job. That's Ian Taylor.
Yes, Ian Taylor. He is moving northbound right now towards that storm. So he's going to keep our eye on that. We've got boots on the ground. We've got our cameras looking at this wall cloud that has been moving in. There's most of the rotation's a little bit higher up in this storm, but there is some low-level rotation. Nothing huge right at the moment, but that can quickly change. As Bruce, as you know, these things can change very quickly. But right now, you're going through the Van Buren area. Andrew, where exactly? He's northbound. Okay, still going on 59. Okay, 50. He's just passing Northridge right there, but he's headed northbound on 59 there in Van Buren. Keeping our eyes on the skies there right now in Crawford County. So we're going to keep hopping back between him and some of these cameras. I'm going to pull up the Bacola camera once again to you guys. So now we're looking more from the southwest. We've got kind of a clearer shot. There's not much between Bacola and headed towards this storm in Crawford County. But this is where you're seeing kind of that little foot there. That's kind of that first appendage. That's the wall cloud that's starting to move east. Still, I think we got a new severe thunderstorm warning, Bruce, too.
Is it coming out here? Let me see. Let me read it real quick for us. Keep everybody. Yeah, it's a big one now, and it goes again just north of Van Buren. I'm pulling it up as we speak, and I'll be able to read the verbiage for you on that. Includes Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian counties now, and so it does include a little bit of Sebastian County. And let's see exactly what the verbiage is on this. So it is definitely still of a major concern this afternoon. The Tulsa Weather Service office has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwest Franklin County, central Crawford County, and then northwest also Sebastian County, northeastern Sebastian County. At 3:52, a severe storm was located 4 miles north of Rudy and moving southeast at 30. So they're holding up that 30-mile-an-hour movement, and golf ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, the main threat from this storm at this time. And they're also including Van Buren now in the warning. So they're saying Van Buren, Charleston, Cedarville, Mountainburg, Alma. So they're kind of just covering the whole area there. Be on the lookout, of course, Rudy. And it's concerning that this storm, again, may cross Interstate 40 at about mile marker 7 to 24. And Interstate 49 around mile marker 22 to 31. So just wanted you to know that this storm is probably going to cross the highway at some point. Now, right now, we're just watching, well, just a little lowering here on this storm, but right now it's not showing a great indication of rotation, but there is some rotation in it, and it is have a history of a golf ball size hail, and we're just watching under this base here to see if anything forms and tries to come down to the ground on that specific storm right now. The wall cloud, not as impressive right now, but it's just still there, and it's still lowering from that rain-free base, and it's concerning. We'll have to keep an eye on this one, Matt, and keep people advised. This new warning that just got issued, let me tell you the time frame on it. It goes on till 4:45 this afternoon, so that's another 50 minutes. They've just extended this almost for an hour now, for 50 minutes on this storm. And it's not showing signs of really going away. I mean, Dean Springs, and it's right on top of you. And you see that little appendage right there. There's a little, what we call an inflow notch of the air going into it, and then you get that appendage, which gives us an indication that there's that rotation involved in it. And then you've got the hail core, and again, you've got your winds showing up here, a little circulation. You got the greens, and you got a little red showing up here, and yeah, that color's really showing up right in this area. There's a new sweep coming by, and again, this inflow notch. Well, it moved further south quick on that sweep.
It did. I think you had the latest speed 30 miles per hour now.
Wow, that moved south in a hurry.
Yeah, so I'm going to update the. We'll track the rotation again, Bruce, and we'll also kind of do a track of the hail as well, because we still have that hail threat. But I'm updating here 30 miles per hour.
I think people in Alma better be really careful with this storm. I really think they may need to exercise some severe weather precautions in Alma, just because you're going to get big hail, and you may have a quick spin-up tornado there crossing I-40, right there where 49 comes in. It's really right in that area. Now, we're not issuing a tornado warning, but we're telling you this storm has some rotation in it, and the Weather Service watching it closely. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for golf ball size hail, and we're letting you know that this storm has some potential for spinning up maybe a quick, brief touchdown of a tornado. We've been watching a wall cloud on it, but it's pretty impressive looking, and that last update on the reflectivity really showed that it's moving south. I mean, we're watching that core pretty closely on the hail, but the actual storm now has progressed a little further to the south, and looks like it's not very far at all. It's right over Dean Springs to Alma, and moving just off to the east of Van Buren and Fort Smith this afternoon. So it's a serious storm, and again, some of the timing on this, we're at 3:57 currently, so that's only about 5 minutes. It's really right there at Dean Springs currently, and then Alma about 9 minutes after 4, and Kybler, and then Riverdale, and then Vesta. Pretty good storm, and very impressive. And Alma, it's
right for you guys.
Good.
Yeah, whether you get the rotation, whether you get the hail. The rain's already started though in Alma, because how this thing is oriented, you get some of that rain first. Are we able to pull up Ian's shot again there with dry 5? Do you have an update? Okay, so where is he now, Andrew? Do you have an update? I know he's still looking at that supercell.
Once he gets out of these trees, we'll be able to see a little better off to the.
It will help.
Off to his right there.
I know he's trying to move the camera a little bit towards the right.
Is this like a dash-mounted camera?
Yep.
It's on the dash?
Right. Okay. So you can see it shake this a little bit just because driving there, but he's looking towards the right at that storm. Right. So we've got eyes on the ground. We've got our sky cam as well, which I'll pull up here in just a second.
Can you bring up the Arkansas Department of Transportation camera in Alma?
I think I was trying to earlier. It may be down.
Really? That would be a good shot. I saw one that they have there that might just be perfect for this coming into Alma.
I think the camera's down right now.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. Let me pull back Bacola.
Yeah, look at
Wall
that.
cloud kind of got a little
That's
bit bigger.
definitely a wall cloud.
It is. It's coming right
man,
there.
Look at that. Yes, it is. That is a.
But it looks like, so that wall cloud.
It's almost a textbook wall cloud
It
now.
is.
It's showing that lowering here, and that's the updraft. That's the air lifting up into the cloud. And if it starts rotating, well, that's when the updraft rotates, eventually becomes a funnel cloud and comes down to the ground. That becomes your tornado. Right now, we don't see any condensation funnels or anything under it, but it's concerning. It definitely is concerning this afternoon for people in Alma. Alma, and just a little west of Alma, right there where the confluence of Interstate 49 and 40 come together. That's a water term for you, but that's a lot of traffic. And look at that. That's right there, right on that confluence of these two major highway systems, interstate systems. We got 40 and 49. We got Alma. There's Rudy, and yeah, it's.
So looking with the Tulsa radar, I can show you, Bruce, the rotation now is essentially right here. Let's go ahead and bring up Ian's shot. What do you guys got? Still some of the trees there. He's about to make a left-hand
right.
turn.
He's still working his way towards that.
I think he's getting off there. I didn't see the road sign in time.
Yeah, maybe he can get to
Hopefully in a
a
clearing
little
there.
opening or clearing there. We can get a better shot with the sky without. That's the hard part about following
It is.
severe weather in Arkansas. We got so many beautiful trees and so
That's
many
right.
hills and valleys, but you get to a clearing there maybe and look off to the to his east, and he'll get. It's 4 o'clock now. We're right at 4 o'clock, and right on top of this hill. It's getting a lot closer to maybe getting us an open shot to this, but again, it's so hard.
Yeah.
I wish we had that Alma.
I know.
That Alma camera from the highway there.
So Andrew, as soon as he has a clearing, go ahead and bring this back up. Real quick, I want to show you the radar. We've got more cells, Bruce, now popping up over Lake 10 Killer, Tahlequah right over Cookson, Chicken Creek. Eventually, these storms could also move into the river valley the next couple of hours. So storms are going to continue to fire up. Some of us haven't had anything yet in Sallisaw and Poteau, and that could change. Fort Smith, we're dodging this one. You guys see that. You see that storm with that wall cloud in the distance, but it's going to stay away. All right, more of a clearing there, Bruce.
Oh boy, look at that. There's the shot.
There you go.
And you see those little low clouds in there, little scud clouds. And that's mostly raindrops on his windshield, I think. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful cloud. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, Ian, thank you for being out there and giving us this shot this afternoon, and maybe pan it just off to your left a little bit if you can to see some more in that field. But I think using that in your camera, showing that wall cloud, yeah.
There he goes. He's turning a little bit. I think he's moving
right
the car.
there. That's where we want to be. And see, there's the
Perfect.
hail. There's the hail right there on the left there. There's your hail shaft. So that's where your big uplift is, and there's that wall cloud. You know, this contrasted with the shot you're showing from the distance. They actually come together very well, and thanks to Ian Taylor, we're bringing you this live video from our mobile storm tracker, and that's impressive. That's the hail core, the wall cloud, and he's just right in the right spot for this as it's progressing to the southeast in front of him this afternoon, Matt.
Yeah, still that hail shaft is still producing up to about ping pong sized hail. So whether you get the rotation or not, a lot of us are getting some of that hail. So we're going to keep bouncing between his shot. I think he's going to relocate. We'll bring him back in just a moment. But Bruce, I want to bring up that hail track again. Still spiking pretty good right over Rudy.
Right.
And it's coming right into Alma. So
Yeah,
Alma,
they're
the
going to
hail's
get
about to pick up.
clobbered in Alma. Here
we go.
They're going to get some big hail. Now, if you're in Alma, get your cars put up. You know, if you got a carport or a garage, it's, you know, you don't want golf ball size hail beating on your car and denting up your new truck or even your old truck. You don't want to get that. So again, here's Alma, here's Interstate 40, and there's 71, 49, and that core is coming right down towards you. See how it's just dropping through Rudy right now and coming in on Alma and Dean Springs. It's just to your west, and there's Kybler, and we're going to keep watching this thing as it moves south because it is
does
moving.
look more south, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Little
I mean,
bit.
southeast, but a little bit more south of southeast on that movement, and that happens a lot of times with a really strong supercell storm like we have going on this afternoon. And here's some more towns that you expect again. Lavaca, Kybler, Alma. So Alma, it's right on top of it. It's 404, and it says 404. I think it's there.
It's right there. We made it.
Then we got Bloomer about 30 minutes later coming down that way. So we're down here at the bottom of the screen. Can you bring up that shot again from the camera that you were showing earlier?
And I think we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out too in just a second.
So, yeah, look at that.
Let's go ahead and bring Bruce full screen again. It's a little bit easier to see when we put that full screen on the green screen. There we go. And I'll zoom in for you too. This is wide view.
So Ian Taylor is in the car just off to the west of this, coming up to this from the south and southwest, and then we got the lowering here, and we're just keeping an eye on this closely. And I want to show that lowering, and then we show, I don't know if we can go back to Ian, if Ian's got a good perspective on this, but the contrast, see, and that's the edge of what I was showing you from quite a distance away, but Ian's much closer to this, and it's just a beautiful storm, unless it's over your house, of course. But these pictures coming in live now, and you see the little low clouds there moving. You watch for those to coalesce into a little structure, and then that's how a funnel cloud a lot of times will form when you get those low clouds like that. You can see something trying to form there, but it's still not as organized as it should be to actually produce a tornado right away. But it's concerning. I mean, you've got these low clouds, you've got a wall cloud, and you've got a big hail shaft on this, and it is, again, moving toward the south-southeast at about 25 miles an hour. You want to read that new warning?
Yes. Let's see. Still that warning continues to the south and east. I don't think it's officially popped up yet, but once it pops on the system, we'll let you know. Okay, there it is. New severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian County. It's going to populate here just a moment. Let's bring this up. Let's go ahead and go back to the radar. There's that new severe thunderstorm warning. Eventually the one in Mountainburg and Cedarville will be expired, but a new severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Crawford County, southwestern Franklin County, that includes us in Charleston, and then northeastern Sebastian County, not including Fort Smith, not including, well, I guess the very eastern fringes of Fort Chaffee. We have some of this warning, but Lavaca and Bloomer. Remember about a month ago we had some of those EF1 tornadoes that kept touching down there along 23. This is where that severe storm is going here at the moment, and also kind of checking with some of this rotation. Most rotation is a little bit higher up in the storm. The low-level rotation has been fairly weak, so let's try to keep it that way. But I tell you what, even that rotation that's higher up in the storm continues to help produce the storm to have its strength to produce the hail and the gusty winds that we continue to have. And I'm going to bring back that hail tracker once again. You just have rotation, it just helps out from a storm's perspective. A very narrow corridor of this hail, but right there in Alma we've been getting it. Looking at some reports, we had a report coming in from Rudy just about a minute or two ago of nickel-sized hail. That's just under quarter size. So nickel-sized hail coming into Rudy that we had. Several reports of this wall cloud. People are seeing this wall cloud has been just moving over Alma. Just to kind of estimate where that wall cloud is when you're looking at the radar, it's sometimes a little bit hard to tell. But the wall cloud, let me switch radars real quick. That rotation is now mainly between Alma and Kibler. So if we move south, see kind of where this thing kind of juts out just a touch. Roughly in here is where the upper level rotation coming in from the Tulsa radar right now is indicating some rotation. So it's just something to watch. That's generally where we also have the shot. Let me bring it in from Cola. I'm gonna have to move this. Every time I bring it up, it's moved a little bit on us, right? It's moving about southeast, about 25 miles per hour. You're looking now from Pensacola, you're overlooking Fort Smith. So Fort Smith there in the distance. In fact, you can kind of see where the airport is, those water towers, eventually as you get to Van Buren. But you're looking past the airport, you see the air traffic control tower there in the distance. But as you look even farther out, right over Alma and Kibler is where we have that rotating wall cloud as that storm continues to push south. Some of that rain-cooled air has already hit us in Fort Smith. Bruce, we're now sitting at 74 and 60s in northwest. But boy, it's warm on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, that's a lot of energy, 90-degree air, high humidity values, and you can see those new storms here up south of Tahlequah. Those are going to move, it looks like now, possibly right towards Fort Smith over the next 2 hours. So we saw this storm form here and move southeast, and then these storms, again, moving towards Sallisaw and Roland, and eventually all the way down to Fort Smith, maybe by about 5:30 this afternoon. So it's 4 o'clock, a little after 4 now, about 4:09. So if you're in Fort Smith, you still have a good chance of getting into some serious weather this afternoon, but it's going to have to move on down again, coming down from the northwest. These are what we call northwest flow or southeast movers, and boy, that storm over Alma is still very impressive this afternoon. Look at that. We're doing a.
Let's try to loop this. We can see the evolution
that
of it.
hail shaft right over Alma, it looks like, and there's your 20,000 and 30,000 foot levels in the atmosphere. The radar measuring the beam going up, and you can see how that hail core is right there.
See that hail lofted there, and then it falls.
Yeah.
Look at
Well,
that.
looks like it's falling on the interstate right
Right
there
on the
at Alma.
interstate.
Sure hate to see that over all that traffic. Hopefully people are holding up and maybe finding a place to stop under a cover for a little while. And these storms are vicious this afternoon at the hail and the high winds. And again, we've had no tornado warnings anywhere in our area so far today. But again, we're at peak heating. It's 4:10 in the afternoon. We have some very strong thunderstorms around, and when you start seeing them out by themselves, those singular cell supercells we call them, like this one, well, you just have to keep a close eye on them. They're very photogenic for one thing because there's nothing else obstructing them. Like Ian Taylor's been showing us with his camera, this storm has a lot of striations, and we've been watching it wrap back around, and there is a rotating part of that storm. It's on the backside on this storm. So you have your hail first, and it's completely opposite of what you normally think of with severe weather, where you get rain, hail, and then maybe a tornado. With this storm, it's moving southeastward, so it's rotating. It was showing some wind here still, and again, starting to show that hail core that came right down to Alma, and then it looks like it not quite as strong over Alma, but there's some blue in there. I'm sure they're getting hail in Alma, and if you're over there watching us, send us a message, show us what you're getting so we can convey that to the public again. But that's just right at an inch. There's an inch diameter. That's a quarter-size hail. That's not as destructive as, say, a golf ball would be, for sure.
See the path. I mean, look how.
Yeah, very impressive path. Look at that. At Natural Bridge, you want to show them what that radar indicated hail size at Natural Bridge. If you click on that, so that's golf ball. That's a golf ball sized stone right there. And then it had a pretty good track as it came out of Oklahoma, and now it's moved all the way across the confluence, or where the two interstates come together there, Interstate 49 and Interstate 40, high traffic area. Pretty good storm still going on. Now it's all the way down the river valley. It's getting close to the river, so moving south and still moving into very high energy air, and still very warm conditions there, but widespread storm, and it's really impressive how it's moving again southeast at about 25 miles an hour. And
do we have an update from Ian?
Yeah,
Andrew.
Do we have any more live camera video?
Okay, I can bring up our Bacola cam.
Okay.
While we wait for him. Once that shot is ready, Andrew, feel free to go ahead and pop that in here. But this is a live look from Bacola. Still, you're overlooking the Fort Smith area. You're overlooking kind of the airport. You've got in the distance, I think you can see Parrot Island Water Park, but you still see that rotation. It is broad and it's a little bit higher, but for now, we're still just gonna have to watch it. The storm is rotating, which just helps it make sure its updrafts and downdrafts are separated. You get good hail with this. So we're watching the hail, but like Bruce was just mentioning, that hail core looked just a slightly bit smaller than it was a second ago. Let's kind of do a recap overall. It looks like the severe thunderstorm watch has now been canceled. In fact, no, it's been expired just because it was up till 4 o'clock. Benton County and Carroll County no longer are you in a severe thunderstorm watch. We still have some cells, though. We've been watching these storms. They produced hail before in Kansas and parts of southwest Missouri. They have weakened quite a bit. Let's bring up Ian's shot real quick. Let's interrupt. All right, so once again, Andrew, can you remind me exactly where, you know what road he's on right now? He's traveling right there with that supercell that's between Alma and Kibler. They're about to get on the interstate. Once he's on the interstate, he might have a better view. I'm sure probably he's about to head east there, coming into southeastern Crawford County. But he's going to try to hop up on the interstate. Highway 282 right now. You see the wind blowing around a little bit. But this storm is producing hail up to about quarter size right now. Earlier, once again, like Bruce was talking about, up to golf ball size tail there at Natural Dam. Now it's moved out of Natural Dam, but this is coming right into Franklin County, northeastern Sebastian County. You guys in Lavaca and Bloomer, this storm's headed right towards you. Some of the rain may have already started, but right now he's got to kind of readjust. We'll bring him up in just a second. I want to show you back to kind of a wide view as we're talking about this radar. Lots of different colors to talk about. The pink color shows you the severe thunderstorm watch. We still have it for eastern Oklahoma. We have it for Washington County. We have it for Madison County. And of course, we have it for the entire River Valley. That severe thunderstorm watch, it continues for several different times, depending on where you live. For Sequoia County, LaFleur, and Sebastian, this thing's going until 10 o'clock. For us in Washington County, this also goes until 10 o'clock. Johnson County, Logan County, this goes until 6. And then Scott County, it goes until 9. So I know there's a kind of a mess, but for the next couple of hours, we still have this active severe thunderstorm watch, basically showing you the best chances of where storms will continue to possibly have hail or that gusty wind threat, and possibly rotation too. Remember, we've been watching this storm have rotation. We were watching that wall cloud. I'll pull up the Pensacola camera once again. Now since it's kind of moving south and east, we were at our closest point with that wall cloud about 5 minutes ago. So now as it moves south and east, you're kind of getting away from Pensacola now. And so it's going to be harder and harder for us to see this. But you're still watching over the Fort Smith area right there past Zero Street on the south end of Towson and Wheeler. We're kind of looking directly towards Fianna Hills. But we still have that wall cloud off in the distance. Hopefully it just stays a wall cloud. And we'll watch
hey
it
Matt,
movie.
can you bring up the radar satellite combination, the actual satellite, and put it on a bigger view? Because they are getting tremendous weather in Little Rock right now. I mean, tremendous weather. Look at this. All across Interstate 40, Little Rock, the storm coming into Little Rock now, and that extends now back and has dropped south. Now the flash flood warnings are showing up, but I want to show on a satellite, if you can pull it back out a little further, I want to show this, from space. We're looking down from space with a satellite, and then we're superimposing the surface radars with this. So you get a combination of looking from space with a satellite, and you're using all the local radars from the National Weather Service all in concert together. And you're seeing these clouds developing out through Oklahoma into southeastern Kansas. And then we're starting to see that development again south of Tulsa and moving into that new severe thunderstorm watch area. And again, you can see the cloudiness with this and the cumulus clouds forming, and then thunderstorms, and there's lightning forming. And there's been a constant series. Once you start producing lightning, these storms go up and produce hail. And again, this one moving again towards Fort Smith, eventually getting into just there to the northwest in Sequoia County. It looks like it'll be in Sequoia County soon and possibly becoming severe as it moves towards Fort Smith. Then the storm that's over Alma, now moving south of Interstate 40.
I think we got a shot of I-42, Bruce.
Yep.
Ian Taylor, let's bring up his shot. He's moving east. He just passed that Scales place. But they're on the right-hand side of your screen. So he's going due east, right?
Right.
So that rotation is already passed over I-40, headed kind of towards Kibler. But there, maybe after this overpass, you'll have a little bit better of a view there for a second. But there's that storm off in the distance. It looks scary, but this storm continues to press. Now it's crossing the Arkansas River right now. They're in the bottoms by Youngstown and Riverdale. That's where we're watching this storm. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. And Andrew, whenever it looks good, bring that shot back up for us. But Ursula, Lavaca, this is coming right at us. Vesta, Charleston, Bloomer. This is just east of Central City. But this is the storm that's moving south and east. I'll bring up the hail for a second. Looks like the hail's really dropped off. You see that, Bruce?
It looks like the storm's weakening to me. It really does.
Is.
It looks like it's running out of something. And that's good news, because look at the track of hail it's had. Oh my
goodness.
God, look at that. But it does look like it's starting to weaken some after it moved through Alma. It's now right over the river valley, but it's showing some signs of weakening. Still a powerful storm, but the trend is down on this. If you notice it kind of trends downward as it's moving southeastward. So we're not giving up on it, but I think it's moving southeastward, and it's starting to condense into just a more of a big rain event, and the hail core has shown some weakening also. So that's all really good as it's right on top. Look at that.
We had a lot of slowdowns there in I-40
Oh boy,
and I-49.
look at that. Yeah, I mean, look from here, and I hope that's not an accident. And then look right here at Alma. Boy, that tells a story right there. That's where the storm just crossed the interstates. And yeah, hopefully when Ian rolls up there, he won't get caught in too bad of traffic, but maybe he'll get us some live video. Look at that, just dropped that new severe thunderstorm warning. That's right there. There it is. Right there, coming in. Yeah, that's
eventually it's probably
there's the
produce
new
more
hail core starting out by Pettit, and then that's moving towards the southeast again. This warning's till 5:15.
I'll read this for you, Bruce.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
This is this line of storms is just north of Bunch. It's moving just northwest of Cherokee Landing State Park, but it's moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. We've got up to probably 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and eventually, once this thing grows, we could get some quarter-sized hail. This storm could be very similar to the storm that's just towards its east, where it produced some hail for, what would you say, 20, 30 miles or 40 miles or so.
Yeah, at least.
So we'll,
a couple of counties.
Probably counties, yeah. So we'll watch this. I'm just curious. So it's 35, 36 miles, 40 miles or so.
Yeah.
We may get the same thing.
And that'll be coming more towards Fort Smith because it's just a little further west. And that may actually end up in Van Buren and Fort Smith and Roland. All need to be aware that probably the next hour or hour and a half.
Looks like they've trimmed the warning too. They trimmed the warning. Let me put the fill. There we go. So a new severe thunderstorm, not severe, they've trimmed it, but now it just includes Kibler, Lavaca, Bloomer, and Charleston as this storm continues to weaken.
Okay.
What we'll do is I'm going to bring it back to the wide radar for just a second. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to be watching these storms come into Sequoyah County, the severest thunderstorm that we still have there towards northeastern Sebastian County, Lavaca, Bloomer, and then in Franklin County and Charleston. Still good storm. But the hail is really weakened. You're getting some pea-sized hail, but this storm will probably continue to weaken for us. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back live on all our platforms here soon with more team weather coverage as more severe storms continue to press in from the north. It's called Northwest Flow, and it's sure giving us an active sky today across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We'll be back. Keep it here. Keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.